Hello and welcome to Ode to Games. I'm Kevin Family, joined alongside Zach Ross. How you doing, Zach?
Doing great.
Oh, we've also got Logan Plant here. How you doing, Logan?
I'm doing well. I'm down the rabbit hole of a new franchise. Can you guess what it is?
You've already told us.
I know.
It would not be much of a
The
guess.
suspense.
Let's just do a quick pause for the audience so they can take a guess.
Do you feel any suspense or any dread wondering what franchise I'm into now?
Not at all.
It's Metroid.
You in the prime of your life?
Oh, that was pretty good.
Oh,
I'm joining the Federation Force.
Oh, dear Lord.
all right.
This
All right.
illusion of.
Ooh.
Before,
I don't know enough about this
before we get
franchise.
into Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade talk, which we referenced last week, didn't have enough time because there was so much E3 stuff going on. Mario Golf reviews just dropped a little bit earlier.
Woo!
And it is, I don't know about you guys, but it is about what I expected. Looking at some of these reviews, IGN gave it a 6. They said that Speed Golf is a fun addition, but a poor adventure mode, a slight selection of courses, and low replayability results in Mario Golf Super Rush being an underwhelming entry into the series.
Sounds about right.
That's kind of where the sports games have been recently in terms of just like kind of a poor, a poor adventure mode offering and a limited amount of content at launch.
Right off the bat, yeah.
Another review, while the single player adventure is a little underwhelming, Mario Golf Super Rush is a terrific multiplayer experience. So
Yeah.
That's good.
Nintendo Life says that it's not a premium effort, however, with a nagging feeling of corners cut and at times an absence of creativity. However, many players should get a good amount of fun out of this one, both solo and with friends. So, taking a look at some of these, it's got a 74 on OpenCritic. I think that out of all of us, Logan, you would be the most likely to pick this up. What are your thoughts seeing some of these reviews coming out and seeing it kind of average reviews?
Yeah, I think that I know that Aces, they got a ton of content added to that game over time, and it was all free, and we know they're going to do that again. They showed that off in the E3 trailer, some pretty cool stuff. Like there was a new Donk City stage that they just, from Super Mario Odyssey that they showed, so you know it's going to get some more stuff, and I like playing these games for the multiplayer, not necessarily the story. Like that's what I always did with Mario sports games growing up. I didn't play the story as much as I played the multiplayer. So I'm still excited for it. I think that I've seen that the gameplay is good. It's just the single player stuff that's not as good. And a 75 isn't a bad score. It's a fine score. So I don't think it really moves the needle on it for me. I was gonna pick this one up probably no matter what. But I do wish that campaign was better because there was a lot of feedback after the Aces campaign, and I kind of thought that they would take a little bit more of a lesson from that than they seemingly did. But I don't know, 75 is fine. It's not bad. It's not great, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as Mario Sports Superstars, which was really
there
a low
have been
point.
much worse Mario sports games. Yeah, it is a little sad that doesn't seem like they learned a whole lot from Mario Tennis Aces lacking single-player content, which was supposed to be an answer to fans' requests to actually give decent multiplayer or single-player content. And with Aces, did they add a bunch of like courts, or was it all just characters?
They had any courts?
They added, I believe they added a court or two,
A court?
two or three courts. I think
They may have added half
I
a
guess-
court.
remember now.
I guess for Super Rush, we already know there's at least one, the new Donk
Yeah,
City
and
one.
I feel like golf courses are more important than tennis courts. And there was a fine amount of courts in Aces, but yeah, hopefully they add a bunch of courses in Super Rush. But yeah, it's disappointing. And I don't even know if it's disappointing. I think it's what we expected. This would be a fine game, not reach the heights of the GameCube era, but be better than what we dropped to in the Wii U and 3DS era. Because you said it sounds like Mario sports games the last 10 years. I'm going to disagree. I think that the Wii U and 3DS era were worse. Like Mario Tennis Open's really bad. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is terrible. The Mario Golf on 3DS is actually good. So I think that it's better than the lows that we've seen. But I mean, it sounds on par with Aces, which really clicked with me. It's like, yeah, it's fine. The gameplay's good, but there's limited content, and I think if you know that they're going to add stuff and you can buy into that, you'll probably have a good time. But yeah, I'm still going to play this with Zach. He's gonna love it.
Yeah, Zach, you gonna play
Oh.
it?
I'll play it with Logan. You know, Aces never clicked with me. It was a bit of a distasteful experience. But I'd be happy to try it out with Logan. Can't see myself buying it though.
All right. Yeah, this will probably be a wait for me. I've got other stuff going on right now, but yeah, knowing that the single player content is relatively lacking, I'll probably wait to pick it up until I want like a multiplayer experience with a bunch of people. And
This one will
I guess
probably be
it's not
$30
right now.
at some point. We've been seeing more Switch games go down to 40
yeah,
and 30.
what Pikmin 3 was
Yeah.
down to 30 for a
Yeah.
little while, for like a day or two. So here's hoping that I'll get an opportunity to pick up Super Rush for not $60.
Yeah.
Hope so. All right. Want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade? It's been a little while. It's been over.
It's a
week
mouthful
since
of
you
a
guys were talking
title.
about it.
I've forgotten everything. It's so intricate.
It's so
Been too long.
Intergrade.
So integrate.
Yeah.
Intermission. Yeah.
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 So
Was it good?
Yeah, I thought it was very good. Yeah, I
Thought it was.
really, really
I
liked
thought it was good. Just good. But I
Just
thought it was
good.
pretty good.
Okay. How
Very
long's
good.
the runtime on it? It's technically a $20 expansion.
5.5
basically.
hours. Is that what it took us?
We played 5.5 hours. I think
5.5 hours. And
Yeah,
we
but
did, everything.
And you did everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
I played it longer than I played Miles Morales, which is
sad.
interesting.
That's. I didn't realize you played Miles Morales for not 5 hours.
No, I played it for like 4 hours.
Really?
And beat it.
Yeah, I didn't do
It
the side
cost.
stuff.
How much did you pay for Miles Morales?
$50,
$50. How much did you pay for Intergrade?
20.
$20.
Now it's DLC. DLC I feel like is never phenomenal, right?
It's true.
DLC is never reaches the heights of the original game. You just don't have that build up to the good moments as much. But for a 3-hour story experience with a 2.5 hour of side stuff we did, I had a really good time. I thought it was really cool. The Yuffie has really interesting new combat with her partner Sonon. Is that his name?
Sonon, yeah.
Yeah, Sonon, and they do this thing called Synergize, which seems like the most OP thing you could do in the game. You just click the left trigger, and Sonon will focus on the same enemy Yuffie is focusing on, and you just obliterate them. Like I don't understand why you wouldn't synergize at all time.
No,
What
you can turn it
synergy
on or
ends, you
off
can
at
just
will.
Synergize again immediately.
Whoa.
Yes.
What?
Funny. It's funny because at the beginning of the game, for like the first couple fights, we were getting destroyed, and we're like, "Are we just not getting this? Do we forget how to play?" And then they give us Sonon, and everything just becomes so easy. And it was just like,
and it like works on
it
the
wanted us
bosses
to
too.
wait.
Like
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We had you know how you have to fight the summons in order to unlock them. We tried fighting it as just Yuffie, got destroyed, and then we got Sonon. We came back and instantly got the summon. So it was a little ridiculous how insane that combat became. But at least it wasn't soul crushingly difficult on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And we were playing on normal difficulty. There is a hard difficulty which we did not play on. I assume it's more brutal. Especially the final boss, which was, of course, the hardest fight. I think he got us one time. He actually killed
we
us.
died
Yeah.
on the final boss. Yeah, but there was the main side thing that we did is called Fort Condor, and it's a board game. It's an in-game board game that you play in the original, and it's bad in the original.
It's not even a board game in the original. It's literally a mini game based around the real Fort Condor, which is a place that you visit. So people are actually invading Fort Condor in the original game, and they made a funny little nod to it as a board game in the remake, which I originally hated, but then grew to love as we continued to do it. And then we became Fort Condor champions, which
we did. Yeah,
which
it's
didn't take
kinda
super
cool.
long. Yeah.
We only
It's
played
like
for 5.5
this-
hours. Whole game.
Yeah. It's
We
this,
did like an hour of
story-based-
Fort Condor, I think.
Yeah.
We probably could
Tower
beat in the game
defense
in
thing.
4.5
unlock-
hours.
The more you explore the world, you unlock like different figures to use in the tower defense minigame, or different boards to use in the tower defense minigame. And yeah, you have like an ATB gauge that is slowly growing over time. It grows faster or slower depending on which board you have. And the different units cost different amounts of ATB to deploy. So like generic soldiers cost like 2 or 3. Really good turrets cost like 6. like the sweepers that you fight throughout the game cost like 6, and your goal is to like push your enemy line forward so you can destroy the condor and the eagles that are waiting at the back end of the enemy camp, and they're trying to do the same. And you can spawn an enemy or you can spawn a guy to help your own team as far up as your furthest guy. So if you have a guy who's just unloading at the condor at the very back of the enemy territory, you can just spawn a bunch of guys by there. So you have to make sure you're always spawning someone as far up as you can. So it's actually pretty cool. We liked it. Yeah, we did every mission we could. What's kind of lame is that the trophy for it is to become a Fort Condor Master playing the DLC on hard difficulty.
Oh.
So I guess that Fort Condor gets way harder. We did everything. There's not even a trophy for doing it on normal. But yeah, we did pretty much everything that you could. We also did all the side quests and stuff like that. There's only like 2 things that we didn't do.
Collecting flyers for, I don't even remember what we got for doing that. Then
the flyers.
The other side, and then I can't remember the other side.
There were like some battles that we didn't do in chapter 2.
some extra battles.
Yeah, it's funny because chapter 2 turns into kind of a fighting gauntlet, just like the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
So it's like a 2-chapter game, and chapter 1 is awesome. You're running around the slums, and you're doing side quests, and you're doing fights, and it feels really well paced. And then chapter 2 is like, all right, you're back at Shinra. You're at literally at the Shinra building, just going through this gauntlet of mini bosses, and you're like, oh my god, it's doing it again. So it's really like chapter 1 and final chapter is how this 2-chapter thing feels. But I really liked it. It just made me want part 2 of the remake. There's some post-credit stuff that kind of teases ahead to what part 2 will be, and it's not much, but it's like, please, I don't want to wait years for this thing. I want it
probably
now.
will.
It's funny because it really didn't give a lot away, but it was like 8 different cutscenes worth of stuff. It was like, okay, this cutscene's over, the game's over. But then there was another cutscene, and then that one was over, and there was another one, and it just kept going. It was really hard to tell when the game was going to end.
Just like the boss rush, where you're like, this has got to be
exactly.
it. And then it just
There's a cutscene rush.
Like four fights, and then you get through a cutscene rush.
Yeah. But it was good. I really liked it. I liked Yuffie. Her gameplay was cool, and the story wasn't much, but I thought what was there was pretty cool.
It did some setting up.
Yeah.
Or I assume what will be the in between of part 2 and 3.
You never know. 3. Oh.
Yeah, so like I feel like the bad guys were set up in this won't be in the main story, but they might be in the next intergrade between the next parts or something like that.
Oh.
That's just a theory.
Just have like a running like side DLC along.
Kind of, yeah.
Every
I
time
don't know.
They just gotta wait until the PS6 is on its way in, and then they can do a little upgrade.
Exactly.
For Intergrade Part 2. Look any better on PS5?
Looks great. Ran great.
The frame rate is amazing. Yeah, runs at locked 60.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because you could pick. When I played Miles Morales, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick fidelity mode for all these games. I'm gonna pick the 4K resolution mode. But now the more I'm playing, I'm like, no, I'm actually like the frame rate mode a lot more. So I've been picking frame rate mode on pretty much everything I'm playing. And yeah, locked 60 Final Fantasy VII Remake looked gorgeous. It was awesome. I even was playing around in just the original chapters a little bit on it. Weird transfer process. Let me say, it is very weird to get my save over to the PS5 version. I had to log on to my save file on the original, which means you have to install the PS4 version. Luckily, it was still
you have to open it on the PS4 or the PS5.
Yeah,
so it has to be installed
on
your PS4
or your PS5. So basically, you could
have the PS4 version on your PS5.
So how it usually works, right, is you have the PS Plus save that's in the cloud. Is how it usually works, and you can just grab that down. But it considers Intergrade to be a totally separate game. It's like, no, this is a new game. It's not just an upgrade. This is a new game. So you can't just grab your Final Fantasy VII Remake save from the cloud. So that's funny. So your 2 choices are to install the PS4 version on your PS5, go in, upload your save to like a special Square Enix server, and then back out, and then delete the PS4 version, install the PS5 version, go in and grab that save from the Square Enix cloud. Or luckily, if you're like me and you still have your PS4 And if you're even luckier, which I was, Final Fantasy VII Remake was one of the last games you installed on it, which it was for me. It was still there. So I just booted up my PS4, went in, uploaded it to the weird Square Enix thing, then went in on my PS5 and grabbed it. So it's weird. You have to do it like internally, not just through PS Plus.
Oh my god.
It was kind
I
of
had no
messy.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I see this, I just look at Xbox and I'm like, man, why are you doing this so much better?
Ecosystem. Yeah.
Like, why does it just work over here? And PlayStation's like, nah, you got to do all this stuff, and you got to pull saves down and upload them and have 2 versions. I remember hearing like when the new version of like Avengers came out that it was a mess to like get your save to PS5 from PS4. Like, so weird that it's still an issue.
Yeah.
At least you can
So that
do
was
it, I
weird.
guess.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed the game. I just love that combat, and it was just super fun to be back in that world. And I just want part 2.
I want part 2
Really
so
good.
bad.
Part 2 so bad.
We know
One of my
nothing
most
about it.
anticipated games that we know nothing about.
Don't worry, you got Final Fantasy Origins, Spirits Divided, or whatever.
Oh, chaos.
Something-
What?
Chaos?
Spirits Divided?
I don't know.
That's the name, right?
That's like
that sounds right to
Spirits
me.
Unite.
I
No,
don't
it's
remember what it is.
It's
Is that what
called
it is?
Stranger in Paradise.
Oh, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that was like Joseph St. Cloud.
I have. All I know is that they said chaos in that
Chaos.
trailer a million times. That is
Yeah.
all I remember. That game is so bland.
Yeah.
It's like Deacon's Name Drop.
That was maybe the disappointment. Because that was like, that game leaked ahead of time, and it's like, whoa, a Dark Souls Neo inspired Final Fantasy game could be super cool, and then it just looked like
And then it just wasn't.
yeah.
And then the demo was broken.
I
and
heard the
then-
demo's fixed and people have been playing it. I haven't
Yay!
yet.
And then people are like, "Oh, this game's not
Uh-oh.
great."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Spirits Divided. When that comes out, I will not. I will not be picking it up.
I'll be playing it.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to get into a little bit of news? A little bit lighter now that
Yeah.
E3 has passed.
I know.
Less
Yeah.
going on.
Let's
We
talk
got-
about the story I've been thinking the most about recently, and that is Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is getting a bunch of DLC, and
That's how you know it's a
It's
good news
basically-
week. That's the headliner. Monkey Ball DLC, baby.
basically it's trying to turn the remakes into the originals, which is exactly what I want.
But
So
isn't that
this
supposed
all
to be
comes-
part of the remake? I don't know.
Yeah. So this all comes in the digital deluxe edition, and it doesn't. You let me know, Kevin. It does not come in the physical edition. Even like the special physical edition, like the art book and stuff, it's not in there. You got to pay separately for that. And just like Judgment, or is it Judgment or Yakuza 7? Or did they both do it? You get it earlier if you get the digital deluxe. edition. You
Judgment
get to
did
play it
that.
early.
I don't know if Like
Yeah.
a Dragon did. Judgment
Okay.
did for sure. I remember that.
Yeah,
I bought physical.
So
'cause I'm a
that's
loser.
So that's the deal. That's the deal with Monkey Ball. But some of this DLC, you can get the classic soundtrack, which I'm like, why isn't it just the classic soundtrack?
Or why-
What are these?
I mean, like,
songs?
we've seen. Go back to one of our most hated games, Secret of Mana Remake. That had
The updated soundtrack.
They had the updated
Mm-hmm.
soundtrack, and then you could just turn back to the regular. That is kind of just something that you have in a remake of
Yeah.
a game. If you
It's
made a
in
new
the Super-
soundtrack,
it's
you
the
put the old one
Famicom
in.
Detective Club games. It's in there too. You flip to the old like 8-bit soundtrack. Yeah.
Why is
So
that a
should just be in
DLC
the game.
option?
I don't know. Because Sega's been a little bit gross with DLC lately. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like with a number of their franchises. There's cosmetic packs, who cares? But really, the big thing is that there is a classic character pack that unlocks classic versions of Ai, Mimi, Baby, and Gon Gon, which is so clutch. They look so good. They look exactly like what I wanted them to look. HD versions of what they looked like in the original, instead of their stupid chibi Banana Blitz and All-in versions. So I'm super excited about that. It also includes classic characters for Yan Yan and the Doctor. And if it was up to me, I would want my classic character pack to remove those two from the game. Like, I don't want them in there. Just get them out of there. And then you could also get the Sega Legends pack where you can literally play as a Game Gear, a Dreamcast, and a Saturn. And I don't even know why. Like, what are we doing?
Why isn't this just in the game?
Strange.
Why are they charging $5 for each of these packs? I can see all of this stuff being a $5 pack.
It's pushing people towards the digital deluxe because
that's what Sega does. Like again, they already
$40.
I thought it was 50. Was it 40?
Oh, I thought it was 40.
I remember.
Maybe I'm wrong.
One thing I'll say is that it's really annoying that we've gotten to the point where Sega has to create this like 10 Twitter post thread on how to buy this thing. Because you've got
DLC,
you've got the regular physical edition, you've got the digital deluxe edition, and then it showcases every single bit of DLC that you would get with the digital deluxe. But it's not 100% clear. Like the only thing it says is that the physical edition comes with the 10 cosmetic items. So it says that, but it doesn't specifically say that the other stuff doesn't come with it, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's just
right.
annoying that you have to like read through.
50.
So
it is 50.
I know you were saying that you were thinking about getting digital deluxe. If you only wanted the soundtrack and the updated or the downgraded to the original, downgraded / upgraded models to the original, it would be the same price as getting physical and those two packs.
The DLC.
Yeah. Well, now that I know that it's the same price, then I'm gonna do physical and pay $bucks for the DLC, which sucks.
Stupid.
But I need that. And
they know it. They
They
know that the new stuff is Garbo, and they're like, "Hey, we can charge an extra $10."
You want to make this game look and sound good? That's $10 extra. Sorry, you get the medium.
And it always annoys me that it's not on cart either. Like you look at these remakes and they've got all of these options baked in. Like that is part of the game. That is part of what you pay for when you're getting the remake on a lot of these. And the fact that it's just downloadable content that you have to pay more for that's not on disc or on cart is just stupid.
Yeah. That's really dumb. But yeah, they know it. They know it. And I'm happy that these are things that exist, but I'm not happy that I have to pay extra for them. At least the game is a budget title to begin with. It's not like this is on top of a full price game.
Right. This isn't like Nintendo charging $60 for this and then doing the extra content. But hey, if you wanted to get all four things and you didn't want and you want the physical version, there's $60 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sega's kind of gross with their digital / DLC on day one offerings.
Yeah.
A bit.
I remember hearing like in Japan the DLC for recent Yakuza games have been pretty nasty, where it was like $10 or $20 for like basically like no content. Like and then since there was like a time difference in between when it comes west and when it came out in Japan, all that content was just into the regular west version. And I imagine the Japanese players like, what in the world? Like, what is this? This is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Judgment DLC was not great either. I remember it was like $8 for like dresses or something like that.
Well, and then like,
what are we doing here?
Persona 5 and like the dancing games, they have so much really expensive like character costume packs and extra songs. There was, I think dancing had like one extra song was like $4 or something. Like, yeah, Sega's DLC is not great. It's pretty.
I think I paid like $10 to dress the Persona 5 characters like the Catherine characters.
Pay $10 for that?
I don't remember how much it cost. That sounds right.
They know that there's people out there that'll pay for it.
It's the same exact thing as Logan and Super Monkey Ball. Like I need it. I don't care if they look like their Persona characters.
I want to look like Catherine characters. This is cheaper because it's like,
true.
Yeah, you know how you all used to love it, how you used to like how these games
look?
It's not like crossover.
It's a little bit extra,
like,
yeah.
This is what should be in the game.
They're preying on nostalgia. Remakes are already inherently preying on nostalgia. It's like, yeah, we're going to make you pay for what you already paid for 15 years ago. But this is like, and you want it to be even closer to what you remember, fork out that extra cash. Yeah. Some other stuff, though, that is great news is that the jump button is confirmed to be optional off by default.
Which is
so
great.
That's glorious.
What should have been done. Yeah. Glad that they cleared that up. Made sure that people knew.
Yeah, that's great.
Well,
I like how they just
is that
know.
Mess with
they know
online...
that they know that jump is. Oh, they said that the online leaderboards are not going to be affected by it. I think.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
does that mean that there's going to be non-jump leaderboards and jump leaderboards?
It means if you jump, you can't be in the leaderboards.
it
Gotcha.
can't be good.
If you,
Okay.
yeah,
But-
if you have
Can't be
jump
good.
on,
Yeah,
then
you're a
can't be in the
baby.
leaderboards.
You play with jump.
And actually,
What?
I'm actually kind of excited about that now. I love that it's off by default. Play through this entire game with it off, but I feel like it would be fun to try and break these old levels with the jump button. So I am a little bit excited after. It almost feels like a cheat mode. Like
Yeah.
after I'm done with the whole game, go back and turn this on and just like break these levels I've been playing the same way for like the last 2 decades of my life. So I think that's kind of cool. I just hope the game feels good, because if it doesn't feel good, this is all a waste. If it doesn't feel right, then this is all for nothing. Which is a lot of pressure to put on it, but it's how I feel. Because it's like if it feels a little bit off or a little bit not right or floaty or slow or anything, then I'm just gonna play the originals. It's like so hopefully it's good. I would love it if this could replace the originals, because it has all the levels, it has all the games. It's like if I can just play this forever instead of having to boot up the GameCube to play the first 2, then I would be very happy.
Man,
There's also a cool reversible couple. Oh, go ahead.
I just hope that it's good so that it requires people to not have to go out and spend a bunch of money on the 2 GameCube games, which GameCube games are getting more and more expensive with each passing day. So,
Or you
I
can
hope
play
it's
Deluxe, which is already a watered down version.
if you have an original Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a reversible cover that has the ugly versions of the character and then like the reflections under them of the nice version.
Oh, it's the
I really
ghosts
like
of
that.
the
You can see-
original.
You got the ugly.
Oh my God.
And then you got the pretty ones.
It's very anime.
And there's an art book that has like timelines for each character, and I call it the de-evolution of Monkey Ball. You got
Just
the really good
watch
stuff,
how
and
it got
just-
ruined.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
like they
super
know,
excited, though.
because with the jump they're like, oh, it's off by default. Don't worry, guys. And then with the with the ugly characters, they're like, don't worry, guys.
You
$5
can
more
use the new-
and you get the old ones. Oh, you don't like the new soundtracks? We got an option
Yeah.
for you. $5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus weird
So, look-
Dreamcast and Saturn.
Yeah, you can-
Why is
I
that?
wonder
Play
if Sonic's gonna be
Dreamcast.
in this.
There was
Like,
there
I
was a
wonder if
leak,
he's gonna be
right? That
unlockable.
Sonic and
Right, for like $10.
or was that just Banana Blitz? Are they in there?
There was a leak?
I remember seeing pictures online of Sonic and Tails in
Oh.
balls.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I didn't
I
remember
just
if that
typed in
was
Sonic,
in Banana Blitz.
Oh!
Right?
Nice! Sonic and Tails and Banana Mania. I totally missed that.
Yeah.
Was it a leak or was it confirmed?
Did they
That's
actually
pretty
post
awesome.
about that, or was that a leak? Yeah.
It was leaked.
Yeah.
Sonic Stadium, which always finds out.
They look good.
They went around the
The
Banana
other
Mania
Sonic?
website. They went on the website and
was on
found
the
currently
website?
hidden art. Yeah, so that's real. That's legit. It's
Okay.
happening.
All
Sonic
right.
and Tails in Banana Mania. Let's
$5?
go. $5. No.
Honestly,
Does that
no,
mean you're going to
maybe.
spend more than the digital version?
No, I bet.
But
those
it's not gonna be in the
DLCs are
digital version.
unlockables.
That's-
What's really weird? Okay, we're I know we're deep in the weeds on Monkey Ball, but it's like when new Yakuza comes out and we talk about it.
Yeah, true.
every-
Same
like,
studio.
by
Same.
So,
It's
same
all the
studio.
same thing.
So there are more. So they have Doctor and Yan Yan, who I hate. There are more characters they added later that I also hate that aren't included in this. And it's like you included 2 of
Yes.
the new era characters.
It's
Why didn't you
included
include,
yet.
like, the other 2, and I hate them.
$5.
$5 to get Jet, I think is his name. I don't even remember.
From Sonic Riders?
Yeah. That would be a.
No.
I pay $5
Yeah.
for him.
But I am just like more curious than excited to see what this thing is going to look like when it actually comes out. But yeah, that's in a few months. But we should move on from Monkey Ball. Let's talk about Sonic coming to another game. He's coming to Minecraft. That's out now. The
In
Sonic
Minecraft,
DLC for the 30th anniversary. Yeah, it was a big week for anniversary. The N64 25th anniversary. It was Sonic's 30th anniversary, and it was Monkey Ball's 20th, all on the same day earlier this week. So new Sonic the Hedgehog world is out in Minecraft. There's like 20 skins. There's Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant Zone, because what else would be that all there ever is whenever it's anything. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. The Minecraft Sonic characters, I actually like the design. There's a ton of them. You can be so many different people.
Knuckles.
Zach and I
15.
actually
want to be Knuckles.
Zach and I
You can be
downloaded
Knuckles.
this. We have not played it yet because we're going to do a Sonic Club play session at some point soon when Kevin gets this. But yeah, I was excited about it because it's like new 3D Sonic, kind of.
the best 3D Sonic game since Generations, right here.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Minecraft. Look good though from the little trailer that I saw.
And-
Yeah, it looks
Be fun
fun.
running around
It
in
looks
this
cool.
world.
Yeah. So, speaking of 3D Sonic, there's this new report out that says Sonic 2022 developers are aiming to lay the foundation for Sonic games with this new one that has been leaked to be called Sonic Rangers. We don't know. So it's coming out in 2022, and basically Takashi Iizuka says that the new title in development is progressing towards its 2022 release, so I can't call it an anniversary title, but Sonic Adventure laid the foundation for 20 years of Sonic titles after its release.
Did it?
I
think they made 2 Sonic Adventure games and then made a third one
Moved
that was
on really
absolute trash, and then they were like, oh,
Well, I wouldn't
Sonic
say that.
06.
yeah, because it's like
You could say Heroes is in the adventure style too.
I guess.
Yeah, you could definitely say Heroes is in that format. I really hope this new title releasing in 2022 lays the foundation for the following future Sonic titles. That is the idea behind the challenge for the team.
Okay.
So we heard that it could be like the pseudo open world thing, which is what. So I think we talked about this on the show like 2 years ago. Those fan games that are like open world Sonic that are actually really good. I don't remember what they're called, but I played them both on my PC, and it's super cool. You just run around this huge open world, and it's all about moments. There's like different stuff to collect, almost like a Mario 64 level, but with Sonic, and it worked. I just don't have faith that Sonic Team can pull off the same thing as these fan games.
Just going off of their track record and knowing that it's hard enough for them to make these stages that are just from point A to point B. I feel like they could make one level that's fun. I feel like I have less faith in them spreading that out over the entire game, especially because Sonic Forces is only 2 hours. Like, 2 hours.
They ran out of creative juices after 2 hours.
Not only do they run out of creative juices, they also have a habit of making it freaking brutal after like the first 2 levels.
It's either the game ends in 2 hours or everything past the 2 hours is just brutal, not fun.
Yeah. So either the entire game is bad, or what almost could be worse is if, like, say there's like 6 areas in this game, and like the first 2 are really good, and we're like, this could work, and then the next 4 are just awful.
And we get shut down immediately.
Could easily see that happening, but we'll see. We'll see what the heck this thing looks like. I'm excited to see more about it. I kind of forgot that was coming. I forgot that game got announced.
Yeah, because it was nothing.
It was very little.
It was just
it was
2022,
very little.
and then there it is, Sonic in 2022.
Hey, we're once again setting ourselves up to repeat 2017 with Breath of the Wild, Mario Rabbids, Splatoon, and now Sonic.
Woo, he's back.
Probably Horizon Forbidden West. Probably.
Yeah, but I take a look at like the quote of like laying the foundation for future Sonic titles like Sonic Adventure, and they're saying that Sonic Adventure laid the foundation for 20 years. That was a shaky foundation then. If this is the 20 years they got out of it. I hope that this is looking to exceed creating a better foundation than Sonic Adventure did, because I don't know how well that worked, considering that you look back and there's like Sonic Generations, half of Unleashed, and then parts of Adventure, and then a couple levels from Heroes.
Colors
Colors is all right. Colors was decent. Yeah. There's just not a whole lot in there. Like, I hope that this foundation is much more solid than Adventure.
Shadow has like 1 good level.
Don't remember that.
I don't know if I remember the good
level. It's the first level.
Okay. That seems to be how Sonic works.
It kind of falls apart. Yeah, Shadow's actually not bad. The levels are decent. It's like I would say Shadow's also an adventure because it doesn't have the boost, right? It's when you introduce the boost that I feel like things change.
It's a gun.
I
Does that count?
Sonic Adventure laid the ground for 6 years of Sonic games. I don't think it laid the year for 20, because then the Secret Rings, I don't know what the hell that is. And then after that, you have which launches the boost era of Sonic, and that's a totally different era. And then Lost World's thrown in there. And that's just, I don't know what the heck that thing is.
I don't know what the foundation was. They went all over the place.
We had 20 cohesive years of great Sonic.
You could
Yeah.
see
And
the
it's like-
pattern
They were
of
all
progressive
bangers,
growth.
every single
And it's
one.
like
20
did
years.
You had a decade where you released one every year, and then you had a decade where you released 2 games. So I don't really know what that foundation really was.
Oh,
Boy.
yeah.
It's crazy when I think about the time from Adventure to Generations and all the games we got in there is the same amount of time as Generations to now when we've gotten through games. It's crazy to me that we got something every year for 10 years, and then for the last 10 years there have been 3 games, and one of them was good. How many were good in that 10-year stretch? I don't know. It's maybe
And
none.
what do you qualify as good? You know, like how much of the game has to be good for it to qualify as good is the real question.
Like,
Because
is
so many-
Sonic Adventure good? The Sonic campaign's great, but the rest is kind of bad.
Yeah, but Tails is all
I
right.
don't like the
I think
Yeah,
it's
what
about
about
half.
the
Like
Knuckles searching?
Sonic's is great. Tails is pretty
Yep.
decent because it's basically just Sonic. Knuckles is
Amy's
okay,
fine.
and then everything else is. Ugh. And then what?
Yeah.
Adventure 2, Sonic and Shadow is pretty good because
Sonic
they're
and
the same
Shadow are
thing.
good.
And then everything else
Yeah.
is like dookie because you have Eggman and they.
Eggers and Tails. I got all of those. I hate
Did.
those. And then I feel like
absolutely.
the Knuckles
Knuckles,
and Rouge
they got
levels
worse.
were good and then fell apart.
Because what
Yeah.
they didn't they remove the ability to like see where like you the hints.
I remember them
basically,
being
of,
very
like,
difficult to find.
where the gems are. I think they removed that in Adventure 2. It didn't like tell you or something.
Yeah.
Either
Something
way.
about the searching was different.
Either
Yeah.
way, I feel like to count a Sonic game as good, it's got to be half good. It's about as good as
Yes.
if it's not Generations. That's about as good as you're gonna get. You know.
Yeah.
I think Unleashed was half good.
Not even because the night
Oh,
stages
that
are
was
way
good.
longer.
Long, yeah.
I
That's
mean
true.
that the last level is about as long as all the day stages.
Maybe longer. Oh
Right.
my gosh. All right. We're going down a rabbit hole. So that's Sonic. It's going to lay the foundation for the next 20 years.
Whatever
of
the
Sonic.
next 20
They
years are
release-
gonna look like.
Excited.
In which they release one game every year for the next 10 and then go radio silent. And then pump out a 4-hour game
Man, I'm gonna
and
be-
then go radio silent.
I'm gonna be 45 when they're laying the next foundation for Sonic
Oh,
title.
no.
Man, let's go.
Oh no, that just put it all in perspective. Wow.
Terrifying.
Well, from that to this, Cyberpunk 2077 returns to the PlayStation Store with a huge warning for PlayStation 4 that says users may continue to experience some performance issues with the PS4 edition while we continue to improve stability across all platforms. The PS4 Pro and PS5 versions of the game will provide the best experience on PlayStation.
So basically, we're in the same situation.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
obviously,
so
it's gotten a little
basically,
better.
They
but...
should have just made this a next-gen game and delayed it.
They have to qualify it to not play it on your base or slim PlayStation 4. It shouldn't be on your base or slim PS4.
It's like what if they had just put it on the PS5 store? That kind of would have been crazy.
It'd probably
Where it's a
be fine.
PS4 version of the
PS5.
game that is only available on PS5. I mean, I guess they
Yeah.
technically say the PS4 Pro is better, but I wonder how
Yeah.
much better. Because even when the game first came out, Pro and Xbox One X still didn't run the game particularly well. Like, I don't know how much more upgrades those versions have gotten specifically, but it was also really funny. I was seeing it online where it was like $10 off on the PlayStation Store, and then it was like Best Buy selling it for $20.
Yeah.
It dropped.
Someone
like a rock.
please buy this game.
But I mean,
Yeah, it's
this is the situation that the Xbox version has been in since the game launched. Like they didn't take it down from the store. They just put the big warning sign on the store page for it on the Xbox One where it's like, we do not recommend playing this on an Xbox
do-
One.
do
Have
not play
a
this.
1X or a Series X or do not play this game. It took PlayStation 6 months to just bring it back and then put the exact same warning sign on the PS4
and
version.
it's interesting because like there's so many bad games you shouldn't play, but this is the only one with a warning on the store. Like there's so many horrible games you should not spend your money on.
Yeah.
But there's no warning with those, and it's weird. It's just because of the clout and the sales of this game. It got it so much attention and led to this. And it's like it was the perfect storm of highly anticipated, best pre-order sales of all time, and then absolute garbage. It's like, no, I don't see this happening with anything.
This is
probably
a very special circumstance.
And that it came out at that generational divide.
Right.
Too.
It makes
like,
it even
was
more
the worst time to
perfect
come out.
storm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not talking about it every week. It was kind of exhausting to talk about this game I had no intention of playing every single week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's back on the PlayStation Store now, because from what I've heard, the game is still like not great, even after all of these fixes. Beyond the fact that the game is not really what people wanted, the game still doesn't seem to run particularly well. But they're like, hey, it's back, I guess, with this huge caveat. And again, at this point, just get it physically. If you really want to play this game, physically saves you $30, unless you got the digital version of the PS5, which is why you don't do that. Because the physical version is really cheap.
Yeah.
But I'd recommend just waiting for this PS5 version whenever that comes out. Who knows?
And our last story for the day, Bayonetta 3 is reportedly progressing well. It was not at E3. I really thought we were going to see it there, but we didn't. We heard that we're going to hear news earlier this year, but this was an interview with GameSpot, and Bill Trinan said that it's progressing well. We like to show things when we're ready to show things. And certainly we like to show things when the developers are ready to show them. We didn't have it here at E3, but stay tuned. So yeah, that game. And Platinum's released like 4 games, maybe more.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Hard on everything, but
they're cranking them out, and Bayonetta 3 still not anywhere. But yeah,
that's got to basically mean that they really had nothing when they announced it.
Oh yeah,
probably.
Logo.
Yeah,
just like Metroid Prime 4.
But Metroid Prime 4, at least right now, you understand because they had to scrap the whole thing. Bayonetta 3 is not in that situation, and it's funny because we talk about how like, oh, it's been so long since Shin Megami Tensei was like shown off, and now that thing is coming out, and Bayonetta 3 is a similar time frame, a little bit later, not by much, just the E3 instead of the early spring or whatever, or winter.
Yeah,
but it's about in that same spot.
Oh, wasn't it also shown in the winter? It wasn't shown at E3, was it? I
thought
it was at that same event.
Was it the same one? I couldn't remember if it was at E3 or...
I don't know. I'll check on that. But it's been 4 years at the minimum.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a long time.
But hey, if it's not ready to show...
it was even later. It was at the Game Awards in 2017. So it was like a year after Shin Megami. So it hasn't been 4 years yet. Yeah.
Okay.
That's years. Right. Okay. Once we get to the Game Awards, then you can really start being like, what?
Yeah. So yeah.
It'll get here eventually.
One broke me. It broke my soul. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. And let's move on.
Never. Probably not gonna play Bayonetta 2, but or 3. All right, Zach.
Well, that'll do it for news for the week. We'll move on to what we've been playing. I know it's been probably quite a bit for me personally, but we'll start with Kevin. What have you been playing this week?
You always start with Kevin. Do you know that? Do you know you haven't started?
Yeah, I'll start because we play a lot of stuff together, so it's better for us to like talk about it at the same time. And I like to go last, unless I've got like something.
Here.
You know what,
a couple of
Kevin?
Things.
Yeah, just go. Kevin.
I'm going. Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm into the new content. It's good. It's still good. Got some other stuff going on. I had a weird craving for a Lego game. So,
whoa, can I guess?
I want to guess.
Sure.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Lego Star Wars.
Nope.
What? I already guessed. I didn't know we got questions.
There was a second question. What?
What
I asked if it was Lego Star Wars.
Zach?
Oh,
Lego Star Wars
one. And no, also not Star Wars.
Okay. Now,
Jurassic Park. Wait, is it based on a movie?
I can give it away very easily.
Harry Potter.
Lego City Undercover.
Yes.
Lego City Undercover.
Yes.
Yep.
They were my favorite sets as a kid. I love the Lego City sets.
I've never even heard of that.
And I heard it was good. So I'm like, hey, it's $6 on the eShop.
That thing is always dirt.
So I'll pick it up. Very disappointed with it.
Oh, really?
The game runs like trash. Which is... Look, with some games on Switch, you kind of expect it to not be as high fidelity and may have some performance problems. You look at like Doom, or you look at Wolfenstein, or you look at these big games, or Witcher, or something like that, where you play those games and you're like, hey, this is probably not going to be as it's not going to be as high fidelity as these other consoles. That's fine. I'll take it for the portability. Lego City Undercover is a 2013 Wii U game that was brought to Switch 4 years later, and it still runs poorly. The loading times are still bad, and if you're driving around in the open world, you will get frame drops, 100%. The game is not smooth. It is very choppy when you're driving around in the open world. I've had some glitches. I had a really weird glitch where there was like a chase sequence at the beginning of the game, and I started it, and then my car just drove off and I couldn't do anything. Like the accelerator was stuck. So he was just driving past the dude, drove up a mountain, like flew off the side, and then I couldn't do anything. And so I had to reset and I had to redo the whole thing again. The way that they do saves is also very annoying, where it's only at certain autosave points.
Oh my God, this is Days Gone. You are describing Days Gone.
Where
drops,
you'll like
save points,
restarting missions.
Well, yeah, you'll like
Jack
if you
2.
hop back in, oh God, Jack 2, dear Lord, I don't want to talk about that. But like, yeah, where you're like, where you'll finish a mission and then you'll go do something else, and you're like, all right, I'm done. And then you back out, and then the next time you hop on, it starts you right back where you've got like the little cutscene where they're talking about the next mission. Like you have to wait until there's a certain point where you can save, which is super annoying, and then having to like go through all these like cutscenes again. It's disappointing. I think if the game ran better on Switch, it'd be fine, and I'd be able to play through it and have a decent time. But it is so glaring for the fact that the game is 8 years old. How does it not run well on Switch? How? I don't understand. Like,
it is a mystery.
Is there a warning? Do not play this.
No,
on Switch.
there's
play
no
it on
warning.
Switch Pro.
There is no warning. Yeah, I'm very disappointed because I see the game, like the actual game that's there is pretty good. I like the world. I think that the world design is quite good. There's good humor. There's varied locations that you're going to. It is. If you like Lego games, it is pretty standard Lego, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But, yeah, that performance is just really poor, and it has no right to be, which annoys me the most. If it was like a brand new game that was ported down to Switch, whatever, you kind of expect it. But here, it came out first on Wii U. Like, they should have ironed that out to be able to run at a solid 30 FPS. We're not even talking about like 60 or something. Yeah, disappointing. Also, one other sad story before I finish off. I hop back into Power Pros, the 2019 version on Switch, and I hop back into they have like a My Career mode, and then they have like a My Life mode. The My Career is when you're in the major leagues, basically, and then the My Life one is when this one is you're in high school and you're going to college or whatever, and you're working up, and it's more based on story. So I booted that up, played for about 10 minutes, and then got to a point where it was like, oh, you need to enter a team slogan for this year. And I'm like, okay. And I couldn't do anything. The game basically soft locked where like I could pull up some games have the like previous dialogue. You can pull up like all of the dialogue that has been said. You can read through it. That's all I could do. I couldn't progress forward. I couldn't pause the game. I couldn't do anything. So I was like, okay. I could press the home button. So it didn't completely like lock out my system. It just kind of like the game freaked out. So I was like, okay, this is stupid. Hit the home button, exited out of the game, hop back in. It deleted my save.
Oh my God.
I went back in and there was no save to load. So it just.
Did you ever play the PS4 version much?
Not too much of that one, no. In terms of like story mode stuff, I basically only played the Switch version for that.
Okay. Maybe you got to hop back into that one.
I don't have that one with me. I'd have to get the newer version.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was so stupid. I'm like, what? Like, what happened? Yeah. I don't know. But all that progress is gone, which is cool.
That sucks.
I love that. Yeah. So I just went into the My Career mode instead, and now I don't really want to play that other mode again, which is annoying because I thought the other mode was good, but I kind of don't want to play through all of it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had some some sad moments this week, which has made me
Yeah,
a little bit wary of games right now. I haven't really gotten full. I'll have to get back into.
you're never gonna
Xenoblade.
play another game again.
I took a break from Xenoblade. I wanted to play something a little bit different for a bit, but now I'm probably just gonna hop back in because I have been burned a couple of times.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah, that's been my week. Oh, also a little bit more Stardew. We're almost done with year 1, so that means we're almost getting to the new content. It's taken me a little while. I'll get to it.
Nice.
I'll get to it soon.
Those years are long.
They are, yeah. Especially when you're playing it like once every like month or two because of time difference. But yeah, I'll get to that new content eventually. That is all I've been playing.
Awesome. Logan, if you would be so kind.
Been playing It Takes Two, which I just have to say I still don't really like that much.
We have been playing It Takes Two. I played it on my PS4 for the first time, as opposed to on a PS5. And on the PS4 version, it doesn't run a whole lot worse. It's definitely, the 30 frames is a little bit noticeable, but during the cutscenes, it like really hard focuses on the characters and blurs out the backgrounds, which I don't think it did on PS5.
You were also experiencing some hardcore frame drops.
Yes, there was some instances with some pretty intense frame drops, which, like, Logan had a little bit of frame drop, but I had some pretty insane frame drops. So definitely easy to see the difference between the two consoles.
I don't think
Game's
we ran into any.
Game's the same, yeah.
Running it on PS4. Maybe it was also the combination of doing it online.
Possibly,
ran
yeah.
Great. There was no.
We
lag.
did a jump test,
really good.
to see if there was any lag, but there wasn't any at all.
It was
So.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just want to get through it. Because we paid
Just to
for it.
finish
That's
it.
where I'm at.
There's so much left. We thought we were closer to the end than
You're
we were.
not? Oh God, because
but we are.
I'm at about the same point that you guys stopped at. Oh no.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
We are
it
not
was a good
close.
It's very weird to me that this game got better reviews than A Way Out did. This game got 90s and like universal acclaim for most people.
Yeah. And I hate the story, and I think the gameplay is too shallow for what it is. Even though you're constantly switching, it's just not that interesting because it's so simple. It's so simple. Yeah. It's fine. It's not bad. It's just fine. I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Not great.
Something else I'd give it a 6 out of 10. God of War.
Oh my God.
No,
That is the most controversial thing
everybody.
you've ever said. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I would give it higher than a 6 out of 10.
An
Play more of
undisclosed
that.
number.
This is more of just a tease for next week. I am at the doorstep of the boss that caused me to put the game down.
Let's go.
Oh no.
So come back next week.
But you're playing it on the easy difficulty, right?
I am playing on an easy.
Oh, it
but I
should
think it's
be
gonna
fine.
Extremely vindicating when I beat that thing.
Wipe the floor, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. So that's my update on God of War. Intergrade we already talked about, and the big one. I am doing it. I'm playing Year of Metroid, baby. Declaring it right now.
Halfway
6
through
months
the year.
It's the Year of Metroid. I am playing Metroid Zero Mission on my Wii U, and I am not alone. Metroid Zero Mission and Metroid Fusion, the two GBA games on the Wii U Virtual Console, launched to number 1 and 2 on the Wii U eShop this week after Metroid Dread's announcement.
Wii U eShop. All right.
Yeah, so there's your fun
all
fact.
the
Number 1 and
20
2 on
people
the
that are.
charts.
Yeah. It was just Logan who bought them.
And they shot up. That was the first purchases on the Wii U eShop in about 3 years.
I actually didn't need to buy Fusion.
Oh,
because
did you have it?
Fusion I have on 3DS.
Oh,
I'm in
as
a
part.
basket.
Yeah, same here. I've also got it.
But Zero Mission is not there. So I'm gonna play 4 games. I'm gonna play Metroid 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm gonna play the remakes of 1 and 2. So that's Metroid Zero Mission, which I'm playing via Wii U Virtual Console. Then I'm gonna start Samus Returns Over, which you may remember I played like half of it last year, but I'm starting again. On 3DS, the remake of Metroid 2 Return of Samus. And then Super Metroid, I actually have 3 different places I can play that. I could play it on my Wii U, I could play it on my SNES Classic, or I could play it on SNES Online, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to play it on Switch. Because it always has that gross UI on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want that.
Gotta love NSO.
I've also played like half of Super Metroid. See how that goes. And then Metroid Fusion, I have on my 3DS as an ambassador. So I'm excited to play this. Metroid Zero Mission, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I have a feeling that Metroidvanias are finally actually starting to click with me a little bit, and I have a
Because
theory
of a
as to why.
trailer.
No, not because of a trailer. Because Metroid Zero Mission is really small. It's like this really small world that I feel like is teaching me about how these games work, and it's not overwhelming. I usually get so dang overwhelmed Metroidvania maps. Like I don't know where to go next. There's too many places I can't go right now, and I don't get it. But the original Metroid and this remake in Zero Mission, small enough that I never feel totally lost, and I feel like it's like baby's first Metroidvania because it is the first Metroidvania. It's a remake of the first, and so it's teaching me how to play in this genre, and I'm really enjoying it. I've always loved the vibes of Metroid. I think the soundtrack is awesome. I think the graphics are great, and the gameplay is finally starting to click with me. So I'm super excited for Metroid Dread. I think that game looks pretty amazing. I watched the Treehouse segments this week, and I think it looks really, really cool. Graphically and gameplay wise. That's one of my most anticipated games now for the rest of this year. So I'm excited to get through these main Metroids. Also going to play the Primes at some point. I'm kind of waiting on that until 4 is closer to do like
and
the same
hopefully
thing.
Nintendo's doing the same thing. And that Prime trilogy that was rumored when we were thinking that Metroid Prime 4 was actually going to come out a couple of years ago is actually true. And that they'll bring it out sometime soon because that would be a very easy way to play those games.
They could see Metroid Prime Trilogy coming out next year, Dread this year, Trilogy next year, and Prime 4 in 2023, maybe? Like if they
scooting in near the end of Switch's life.
Yeah. But I'm excited that I'm hopefully going to become a Metroid fan because it's one of those Nintendo franchises I've always wanted to never have. So I'm going to stick with them. I'm really liking the first one. I'm halfway. It's like 6 hours long, and I played for about 3. So I'm really into it. And yeah, Metroid Dread's going to be the best-selling Metroid of all time. It's been number 1 on Amazon, on GameStop, since it was announced. So this thing's going to be big. And yeah, I'm really excited for it because Dread looked super cool. Like the watching, like I want this. It looks really great.
You gonna be able to get through all these games before Dread comes out in October?
Yeah, they're all pretty short. Yeah. Metroid 1 is like 6 hours. Samus Returns is the longest, the remake. It's like 15 hours. And then Super Metroid's like 8 to 10 hours, and then Fusion is like 7 to 10 hours. These games tend to run about 10 hours, so yeah, I should be able to.
All right.
I want those amiibo too. They're so hard.
Still can't find them.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But that's what I've been playing, Zach.
Zach, how's your year of Mario now that we've got the year of Metroid?
All right. I beat Mario 64.
Woo! You did it.
Yeah.
Which is another notch in the year of Mario. Which means it's not dead. It's not dead. Hey, 2 in 6 months? That's pretty good. Ugh, that's not very good, is it?
Sunshine.
Yes. Sunshine.
It's all right.
Aesthetically looks very appealing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
as you guys have said, has some bogue in it.
It does. But most
some
of the
skippable
bogue is skippable.
It's optional.
Yep.
It's not optional in Mario 64.
Wow, everything is technically optional.
I guess so, but you do have to get 70 out of 120 stars, which means there's 50 stars you can opt out of. So I tried my best to figure out which of those 50 stars were the least viable to get and tried to cherry pick the best ones, which was mostly just like maxing out all of the earliest levels and then getting some of the and then getting some of the later stars.
I maxed out all of the levels. I have almost all the stars in that game. The only ones I don't have are the god-awful ones for collecting 100 coins in every level, and then like a couple of the castle secret stars that I didn't find, but I got every level and every star in every main level.
It's funny because I didn't even know you got a star for collecting 100 coins in every level. I never did that. I did not know that was a thing, so that's fun.
Did you use a guide at all, or do you think there's some words you just missed because you find them?
I used a YouTube video to figure out how to do the Boo world. Like there was like I was looking through the menu and it was like World 4, World 6. I was like, what's World 5? And then I like looked it up. I'm like, what's World 5? And they're like, oh yeah, just like curb stomp this Boo. Yeah. So
yeah.
Which was fine. I'm glad I found it. I think I got most of the worlds, if not all of them. I barely even touched the last world, which was like the Clockwork world. I barely had to touch that one.
It's not even the last world.
It's like rainbow and stuff too, right?
Yeah, Rainbow Cruise.
There's a rainbow world?
Yeah.
Wait, there's a rainbow world?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Where you ride a really slow rug.
Oh.
That's the level.
You know that Smash Bros stage where it's like you start the ship and then you
Yeah.
move and you go up and you climb up and you go all the
Absolutely.
way around. That's
Yeah.
the Rainbow World in Mario 64.
Oh, well, I did not find the Rainbow World. I thought the Clock World was the last world. 'Cause
Nope.
Did you do
more.
the Big Little World where you're?
Yeah, I did that world.
Tiny large or something.
I like that world. I think I maxed out that world.
Awesome.
Actually, all but one of them for that world. But yeah, that game was very frustrating. Mario controls like a stick of butter. Like he's very slippery. He just you never know what he's gonna do. It was a lot easier with the Pro controller and not
No
having
drift.
drift. The game
No
is
drift.
literally impossible to do with drift. I've realized. It can't be done. But having the Pro controller made it actually possible. Even though it was not easy at times. I liked the world designs. I thought they were pretty cool. Liked the music. I liked all that stuff. There's a lot of variation in how to get the stars. I thought that was fun. Final boss, just fighting Bowser the same exact way every time was kind of annoying. Like it wasn't very fun, but you only fight him like 3 times throughout the game, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And the final one was really annoying when you had to like when the platform turns into a star and you actually have to like aim and you can't just stand next to the bomb. You actually have to aim where you're throwing him. That took me so long. That took me like 15 minutes. Because I could just not get him to go where he needed to go.
They know that's bogus. They tuck that one eye behind the pillar at the last boss. So
Yeah.
you can
Thank
go
God for that,
around
because
when
I
you go
went
in the
back to
fight.
get that so many times.
Yeah.
Like I would have had to redo that whole thing
Yeah,
if they hadn't
that's
tucked that one up there.
brutal. Yeah.
But I finally beat him through some sort of lucky miracle. I think I got lucky a couple of times in that game with a lot of the stars. So yeah, I'm just glad it's over. Probably won't go
Sunshine's
back to get
next.
the last 50 stars.
Sunshine.
I will be completing Sunshine
Woo.
next, hopefully within
Do
the
not
next 3
complete
months.
Sunshine. Dear God, do not
Well,
complete
yes,
it.
beat
Beat
not
Sunshine.
complete.
Do not get all the blue coins.
My
Do not
God,
get all
yes.
the other crap. Yeah. just
Hopefully,
go
I
for
can
the
just
seven
weave my
shines.
way. Yep,
Yep.
shines. And then, other than that, Intergrade, we already talked about. It Takes Two, same feelings as Logan. And then yesterday, I got addicted to basically a mobile game, which is like
We don't talk
it's
about
on
mobile games
PS4. I know it's on PS4, but it's like one of those clicking games where you just have to constantly click. And then, but it's called Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and it's like a popular, it's free to play D&D themed game where you can just like create a party. You keep, and the more enemies you kill, endless supply of enemies, the more money you get, the more you can upgrade your team or buy new people. And it's just rinse and repeat on every adventure you go on. You start at level 0 and you just go until the adventure's done. It's actually pretty fun. But if you leave it idle, like if you go to bed, you turn it on in the morning and it's like, oh, you were gone for 9 hours. Here's 1 trillion gold. That happened to me. I'm like, all right, thanks. I was stuck
Cool.
on this, but now I can just buy a bunch of people with my
Wow.
trillion gold. So
Nice.
Sounds like a very
it's kind of
strategic
generous. Yeah. But some of the
right.
levels are pretty hard. So it's still got its entertainment value. And I spent a little bit of money on a character, so I have to get my money's worth out of it. So I'll be playing it for a little while, at least. But that's all I've been playing this week.
All right. Why don't we quickly run through our Ode 2 halfway through the year? Woo!
Finally.
Working through.
My God.
We
First
did
year
a
for games.
Game of the Year check-in at a fourth of the way through the year, so why don't we do it at around the halfway point? So we'll just be going through the games that you have played that came out this year, and I guess whether or not you think they're going to be on your list, and then some of the games that are still to come this year that you think will get on your list by the end of the year. I'll run through mine quickly. I've only played 2 games that came out this year. We got Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Half of it's a remake, but half of it's new, so I can put it on there. I expect it to be on my list at the end of the year. It Takes Two. If I played more games in the year, it probably wouldn't be on the list, but considering how few games I played that are actually new in the year, it'll probably end up at the bottom, probably number 5
Very
or so.
probably. Yeah.
And then some of my other games, they're all remakes except Lost Judgment. So I got Lost Judgment.
Oh my
of
God,
course.
they are.
It's going to be number 1. And then we've got Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which I guess I could count as a new game because it's never come out in the West.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
technically it's a remake. Shining Pearl
It lives in Japan.
100%
It's not a new
remake.
game.
And then I'm gonna put Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. I'm very curious about that game, and I'd like to play it. Caveat: Horizon Forbidden West, if that somehow came out this year and I had a PS5 to play it
Set-
on, I would put it on
Right
the
now,
list.
right now it says
But-
it's coming out this year. I think.
But man,
again.
who knows? Who knows
don't
on both
believe
of those
it.
fronts if it comes out this year and if I'll have a PS5 by the end of the year. But
Yeah.
if it was confirmed for this year, I would put it on there. Horizon Forbidden West. And I'm sure.
Yep.
And if I had an Xbox, I'd put Forza Horizon 5 on here. I don't think my PC can run it though. So I probably won't be playing it on launch, but that is one that I want to play in the future. But for games that I think I'll pick up at or around launch, those are probably the main ones.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For me,
Zach?
I'm in a similar boat. I did play Mario's 3D World, but I didn't play Bowser's Fury, so I didn't even play the new part, so I don't really count that. Monster Hunter Rise is the big one. Right now, it's my game of the year, just given the amount of time I spent playing it and the fact that I haven't played a lot of the games this year. I do love this game, for all its faults, but 100 or so hours in, it definitely has cemented its spot at the top as of now. And then Intergrade, which we just played, was very fun. Enjoyed it a lot. Don't know if I'd put it over Monster Hunter, but for being a little addition and not really a full game, I thought it was pretty good. And then for games that I'm thinking might make my list in the upcoming year, given the caveats that I have a PS5 by the end of the year, much like Kevin, Deathloop, something I'm excited for, comes out in September. Horizon Forbidden West, unlikely to come out this year. They said it's going to come out this year, so until I hear otherwise, it's on the list. And No More Heroes 3 coming to Switch in August. Love the first two. Playing with Logan. Third one looks really great. I'm very excited to play it. So who knows? Maybe it'll be good enough to make the list of top games of the year, given the lack of games I have played that have come out this year. But I think that's where my list currently sits.
For me also, if I had
list.
a PS5, maybe I'll play Ratchet and Clank by the end of the year. I don't know.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah. For me, it's like kind of a quieter year. I think that's kind of true across the board. We're seeing more.
Everything's coming out next year
than we did last year, I think, because those games were at the finish line, and ones that probably should have come out this year aren't. So yeah, I don't think there's that huge blockbuster fall release schedule. I think there's a pretty awesome fall release schedule. It's like what we talked about last with like Nintendo. Like their schedule's a ton of really cool like middle tier franchises and stuff coming out. So, but as first for what I played this year, Monster Hunter. Now, even though I have problems with it, we still love it. I'm just very critical of it because of how good I know it could be. But it's still amazing game. Then I played It Takes Two. No. I played Hitman 3, which I'm still stuck on.
Wow.
Zach came over and I needed his help. Then I realized I uninstalled it to make room for Final Fantasy 7.
So
So he
stupid.
didn't help me out yet.
It was like, what do you want to do? Or he was like, what do you want to do? I'm like, let's get through Hitman 3. He's like, okay. Crap, I uninstalled it.
Yeah. Yep. Bowser's Fury is great. I love Bowser's Fury, but I don't like that as much. Same with Intergrade, really great, but DLC or add-on doesn't really count. Returnal, still waiting on that save, and I do love that game, so that could be up there by the end once a save feature is implemented. New Pokemon Snap, I'm still going to try. I have that right now from my sister, so I'm going to play that. Doesn't seem like Game of the Year material either, though, for me. And then stuff, my top 5 most anticipated for the rest of the year. Number 1, Ace Attorney Chronicles. I think that's like Lost Judgment for Kev. That's the easy, it's going to be that. And then after that, my number 2 most anticipated right now, Metroid. I'm so excited for Metroid Dread. I think surprise. And then Lost Judgment. I have WarioWare on here. Again, like not Game of the Year material, but I think I'm really WarioWare. And Halo Infinite. We'll see. We'll see if Halo Infinite's any good, or if it even makes it this year.
Yeah, it's in the same boat as Forbidden West, kind of.
Yeah.
Where it's like, could come out this year.
And then some other stuff. Kena Bridge of Spirits. I've talked about that one a lot. I have my eye on that. Monkey Ball's a remake. Doesn't count either. Mario Golf. Probably not going to be Game of the Year. So it's like
probably not.
Stuff I'm excited to play, but nothing that's like, oh my god, The Last of Us Part 2 comes out this year. Oh my god, Smash Brothers comes out this year.
I don't think I have I don't think I have a guaranteed Game of the Year like you have Ace Attorney and you have Lost Judgment. I mean, I'm gonna love Lost Judgment probably, but I don't know if I have a a guaranteed game of the year.
Depends how much that you love Deathloop, I guess,
That's-
since it is your studio.
Yeah, I know. Looks good.
Yeah,
Before
lots
they-
of remakes. A lot of remakes.
A lot
this
of
year.
remakes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really
Crazy.
isn't too many, like, I don't know, just like big games where you're just like, boom, that's it. Like, I mean, in terms of like stuff on current
Life is
gen
Strange,
now.
aside from that too, by the way.
Life is Strange, yeah.
too.
I mean, yeah, you've got Returnal, you've
Guaranteed
got Ratchet
game
and
of the year.
Clank, and then yeah,
$2.
you've got Halo and Horizon, which you don't know if they're gonna come out this year or not.
Yeah.
And I guess Forza is also pretty big. Forza Horizon 5. That's kind of it for at least like those big games that you would look at and be like, oh yeah, those have big chances for just game of the year at a lot of these places. A lot of the
I
other
think
stuff
that
is
Metroid's
smaller,
going to surprise
niche
some
stuff.
people. I think Metroid's going to win some titles. I'm going to predict that right now. I think
Okay.
Metroid's going to be great.
Looks really good.
Does look good. All right. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No,
Nothing.
I have nothing.
No, I got nothing to say.
$5.
$5. Yep.
$5.
Get ready to shell out $5 twice.
Oh, I do have a final
Gonna
thought.
get
Game of the year
those.
2022. Pretty obvious Sonic Rangers at this point.
Yeah, God, I have such high expectations for that game.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be so something.
Average. Yep.
It is gonna be so.
It's gonna be a game.
Regardless,
be-
you know we're going to
Great.
talk about it. For
Oh,
years,
yeah,
regardless
totally.
of what it is.
Regardless of if
Setting
it's
the
any
precedent
good,
for 20 years.
we're
It's going to be
talk
big.
about it, of course.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That has no bearing on if the game's actually good or not.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see. But that is going to do it for us on this week's episode of Ode to Games. We're here on Thursdays, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other podcast streaming services that you may use, our website, Ode to Games. Also, odegames.com has the audio version of the podcast. Video version is up on our YouTube page, Ode to Games, so you can check that out there. We're on Twitter, at Ode to Games, Twitch, Ode to Games as well. Or you can send us an email at odegamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.